Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Edhellond Chronicles. My name is Savvy, and I'll be your dungeon master as we travel through the world of Edhellond. This is my first time as a dungeon master. I've played very minimal D&D, so this might be a little rough, so you'll have to bear with me. What we'll be doing is a custom campaign for the most part, but also mixed in with some pre-written campaigns as well. We'll be starting out with a bit of character introduction, where I introduce characters and set up a bit of the custom campaign element. And then after we get everybody introduced, we'll be joined by the written portion of the campaign. It is the Lost Mines of Phandelver. Sure, sounds good. So after we get everyone introduced, we'll jump into that, and then once that's complete, we'll be going into a fully custom world. What I've done is I've put Neverwinter on a small little island, sort of like a starting area for our adventurers, and hopefully they'll level up, enjoy the journey, as well as maybe I'll learn a few things about how to be a DM here. So a few things you might need to know about the world I've created. It's a very basic world. There's, not a whole lot of fighting going on, if any. Actually, there hasn't been much. It's a world at peace. The reason I've done this is it just allows me to have, I guess, more control right now. And to be honest, the outside world isn't too much of a big influence with this pre-written campaign that we'll be running right now. So once we get out, then it'll allow me to take what the adventurers have done and use it to create the world around them in a more full manner, you can say. Magic isn't overly flowing in this world. It's sort of a taboo sort of thing. There's no magic shop sort of deal in town. It's more, hey, that person has a magic wand. So there's magical elements, but it's not as rampant as most D&D worlds. I should say we're also playing the 5th edition. This is the only edition I've played because I'm quite new to the game. But yeah, so other than that, I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to sit back, relax, and enjoy your time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my custom campaign, Edhellond Chronicles. I don't know if that's how I'm going to continue to pronounce it, as well. That's the first time I've actually heard it been said. So we've got a few characters. We have a few characters here. And when I say characters, I mean absolute ridiculous sons of guns. We'll start on the right. For me, we have Ben Schmidt. Ben, who are you playing? All right, so this is where Ben would be telling you about his character, but we had a bit of technical difficulties with his audio for this portion. So I'll just do a quick little recap for him, and we'll continue on with the rest of the story. So Ben's character is Dorn Greycastle, a human cleric. Dorn was born in the city Darissa, which is the holy city of Mishakal, the god of healing. As a cleric, he was accepted into the church, and he eventually entered priesthood. He rose through the ranks very quick, and he felt that he needed to expand his views on the world, as well as help spread his religion. So this is the main reason he headed on his way to Neverwinter. All right, so we have Spencer. Hi, Spencer.
Hello.
And maybe tell everybody who you're playing.
I will be playing Pendle Lockenkey, a very clever little halfling who is very curious by nature.
Okay. And how much experience have you had with D&D?
I came out of my mother's womb rolling a rolling a d20.
Did you land the dexterity check?
Oh, I crit all right.
All right.
I crit all right.
Perfect. And we have Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
Tell everybody about who you're playing as.
Well, I'm playing as Baby Drabmud. I'm a mountain dwarf from.
I'm never gonna say that name. You're gonna have to say it every time.
That's all right. I'm a barbarian mountain dwarf. He's 4'3". He's 40.
That's because that's dwarves age
Yes.
or live longer than humans.
Yes, they do indeed. I'm 40. I'm practically 15.
40 what?
40. 40.
Oh, I kept hearing 4D, and I was like, what dice?
That's a crazy Friday night on at Ryan's house.
Okay. That was unfortunate.
And we have another gentleman who's not here.
No, he's got jets for feet, so it's a little difficult to sit
Exactly. All right. So, Ryan, how much experience for D&D have you had?
Doesn't matter, you're gonna die.
What is
Zero
experience?
No experience. All right. Okay. I see. I guess I can start with a quick recap of Edhellond. It's starting to sound a little better as I go. All right. So Edhellond, what I'm doing is, since I'm very new, we're starting with a pre-written campaign, which I'm not going to say out loud because then these son of a guns will go read and know what's going on.
I have
I'm
two
new,
heads saying no right now.
but not that new. You guys will probably figure it out anyways. So
I have a funny feeling I won't.
Ryan, that's going to be the entire campaign.
What am I doing?
Exactly.
Okay, so it's my turn. What do I do now?
It's not your turn.
I know. I'm just saying that's going to be the entire time.
Exactly. So, we're going to start in the town of Neverwinter, which is like the main sort of city in the D&D world right there. Nice blue ping. Love it. And then what I've done is I've created a custom world around it. And as we go on and get past this pre-written campaign, we will explore the world, and I'll continue writing, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it's not terrible, because I'm a pretty terrible writer. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So I guess magic is a thing in the world. What I've done with the world is magic is not a natural thing for people, or I guess other races. Nature has a bit of magic, like the creatures you'll run into, some of them have been bestowed magic, but mainly for any of the races that we'll be playing, you need a magic item to be able to cast magic. So this could be a magic sword, a magic staff, magic cape, stuff like that. So if you don't have that, you're pretty much you're pretty much Ryan's character, just an absolute barbarian. Just flails away. So, pretty much. So
very well into my backstory.
I think it'll work out okay. Just because, like, magic's a cool thing, but I've listened to a few podcasts and stuff like that, and some of them just get overrun. Oh well, I'll just go find a mage in a city, and he'll build this for me, right? And it seems like it might get a little overpowered, sort of thing. So magic's gonna be more like a taboo sort of thing. That's not like, hey, I have a magic shop, come buy wizard stuff. None of that. It's rare in the world is definitely it. So yeah, there we go.
Spencer, I see you cheating there.
No, that's the handbook.
That's unfortunate.
I've got 3, plus a campaign booklet. So,
Rip.
other than that, it's so far it's just a regular world. Nothing major has happened. There is gods in the world. What I've chosen is actually, I will pull it up. If you go into your notes or handouts, there's a note of religious cities. It should pop up. And what that is, what I've done is I've created religious cities that are scattered throughout the world. There isn't too many religious, like overly religious cities. And as you may have noticed, all of those seem like they're pretty good gods. That's because those are the ones that are sort of the mainstream. People are like, hey, look at my god of healing, look at my god of creation, stuff like that. That's what people, I guess you could say, praise and are glad to brag about. Yeah, they gather to that one. Exactly. But for a chaotic god, like the god of death, whose name I do not have in front of me, there could be hundreds of little caves scattered among the countryside where there's people worshiping more in like a cult-based sort of thing.
Nice.
So it's not like, hey, let's go worship death. Let's, it's kind of like, hey, secret meeting at the cave, da-da-da, go that way, right? So those are the main religious cities. Their spread kind of goes everywhere. There's going to be shrines in most of the cities. Some of them will have all the shrines, depending on the size of the city. Some of them will be kind of like 2 or 3. So religion's everywhere. Gods aren't overly rampant. They haven't been seen walking the earth sort of thing. It's a pretty tame, nice stalemate earth. Kind of boring, you could say. That's mainly because I'm not that creative yet. So, so those are the religious cities. I think other than that, there is 5 different kingdoms, which I will show you all now. Boink. I have split it up into 5 kingdoms, and each of them is run by a royal family. And as of right now, they are at peace. No wars. Everything's kind of hunky-dory. But, I could have a bad day and just say that there's a world war the next day. I do what I want. So, yeah. So those are the areas. Some of you, it looks like most of you, actually, I guess Dorm is from the Empire of Aladaris, however that's said. We've got Brime from the Dominion of Belland. Belhind? Sure. And then everybody else seems to be the hierarchy of Oleon. Sure. To be honest, I just used a name generator, so I don't know how to pronounce them. We'll go with it as it comes along.
Oleon.
Yeah, exactly. We'll call it the hierarchy of Ollie.
If it gets too difficult, you just call it the theocracy of Spencer.
Hey, things happen, right? So, I feel like that kind of covers the most, the basics of what the world is. Dan, do you have any questions on that? No? Am I missing anything? Oops. Yeah, I worked hard at it, so you'd better freaking like it. All right, well, let's dive into this and start with our character prologues. Wow. So, I guess, well, let's start with Ryan. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so Ryan, tell us a little about Brimey.
Sorry, what?
Oh my gosh. Tell us a little about Brimey. Drabmund.
Well, what would you like to know?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
In other words, he doesn't even know.
Okay. So he's a mountain dwarf, correct?
Yes, he is a mountain dwarf.
Okay.
Is this mountain made of mud?
Yeah.
And then when they try to climb it, they all get mad and they just yell drab. And then they thought, hey, that's a good name.
No, it's ancient. It's an ancient name passed down over many generations.
Nice. I like that. Just off the cuff improv. That's good. If we were actually playing and it was something important, I would give you inspiration because you're a total noob.
Thank you.
But you don't even know what inspiration is. So it looks like here you're an outlander and a tribal marauder. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing that you've lived on your own sort of thing.
Yeah.
In the mountains, doing your own sort of deal.
For many,
All right.
they lived in peace at the till the Tabina.
Till what?
I'm making things up as I go. All right.
I know, and I didn't hear it. It cut out.
But there was a battle a long time ago, and everyone died except for Bimey there, and he made his way to Neverwinter.
Okay, so I guess your Bimey has decided to come out of isolation and
Yes.
Make his way to Neverwinter.
Mostly because he didn't know what else to do.
All right, fair enough. And Neverwinter,
like
I
me.
guess I will give it a bit of backstory. Neverwinter is kind of a major city in this world. It's the port, the major port inland. I know it looks like it's not connected, but if you get really close, it's connected, kind of. So
There's a bridge.
all the trade ships to the mainland, they go through Neverwinter. That's for the eastern side of the world. So it's a big city. Lots is going on. Lots of trade. If you need something, that's probably the place you're going to get it. Okay? So we have Bima Bluffs. Walking. Are you walking to Neverwinter, or how would you have gotten there?
He made his way through. He made his way down the Bigby River there, down into Brastow, and then hitchhiked on a boat over to Neverwinter.
All right.
I'm impressed so far, Ryan.
And how does Mr. Bimey do with sea travel? Could you roll me a Constitution check?
Pardon? Sorry, a what?
Constitution check. So you go into your character sheet.
Yep.
Okay, and then you go to your skills.
I'm at my skills.
And then down at the bottom it says unskilled Constitution check.
Ah, yes, there it
And
is.
you just click the little dice. And you got a 10. All right, so you're a dwarf. You're not a fan of water, but you don't hate it. So nothing happens major on your voyage. You get to Neverwinter. When you left your bluffs, all you had with you was your two wood cutting axes. Those were kind of your tools of the trade, and
Yes.
they're very near and dear to your heart. Just regular traveler's clothing, nothing fancy. And yeah, you've made your way to Neverwinter and headed down to the docks. And you found a notice board that says, "Are you looking for direction? If you are, this is the notice for you. Come to the Sleeping Dragon on tonight at 6 p.m. So that's how you got to Neverwinter and stuff like that. I think that was okay. No, go ahead.
No, I'm not there. I can't ask the question.
Right. Yeah. So Neverwinter is kind of a place of lost souls, and people need direction. It's a good place to go. All right, Spencer.
Hello.
Let's do you next. What about a Pendle?
We only just met.
This is true. This is true. But I'd like to know you more.
All right. So, how much would you like to know?
Well, a
Probably
little
more
about your
than me.
character. Yeah. What kind of character you're playing? A little bit about his backstory, some of his, why he's heading to Neverwinter, and basically what he's done in the past, if he's had any jobs, and what motivates him.
Sure. So, Pendle grew up in Bailey. Bailia? Is that how we say it?
Bailia, sure.
Bailia. So, growing up, he listened to lots of stories from his grandpa and his uncle about adventures that they went on when they were younger, and this really got him to just naturally fall in love with story tales and adventuring and fighting dragons and wizards, which is what he would do with all of his little friends. His favorite stories, though, were definitely ones of wizards and magic because, he's always wished that he could become a wizard, even though he has zero aptitude for magic. He doesn't believe that to be true, though. In his opinion, he just needs to find a good enough teacher that can actually help him. So, on his 21st birthday, he decided it was time for him to set off on his own grand adventure so that he could have his own amazing tales to tell. Because all of the greatest stories he ever heard involved magic, he also knew that he needed to set off and find someone that could use magic so that he could have the greatest stories to tell. So this started him off going around, just wandering around everywhere he could go, getting into mischief here, there, and the next place, until finally he ended up just finding his way to Neverwinter. And so he's 23 now at this point, so he's been wandering for a couple of years.
All right. And has he had any major run-ins on his travels?
He has had a little difficulty with the law here and there, because Pendle has a different way of seeing things than the rest of the world. Most people, they use money to buy things. Pendle feels that, what good is money? It's just a value that someone said this is what it is. But what true value is emotional attachment. So the more emotionally attached someone is to an item, it makes that item more expensive, or it's worth more. So he prefers to trade more along that way, which many people don't seem to agree with. So
in a world where the gold piece goes a long ways, emotional attachment.
The gold piece does not go a long way. What's important is that what the story behind the item, why is, an heirloom passed on through generation and generation. Someone may be like, oh, it's worth 5 gold, but no, it has so much story behind it, and it's gone through so many generations. It's a very valuable item.
Perfect, and that fits in well with your with Pendle's storyteller entertainment background. So that would make a lot of sense.
I guess the only other big thing to mention is Pendle hears so many stories and he tells so many stories all the time. He has a hard time remembering which stories are his own and which he heard from others. So some things can get a little mixed up from time to time. Fair
enough. And we should mention that Pendle is a halfling, and he's quite well. He's pretty small. He's 2'7" and 35 pounds. There's not a lot going on with this guy. Well, that's going to be your best bet. So after wandering around for a while, you've made your way into Neverwinter, and you've come down to the docks, which is also sort of near the market, so this is a great place for yourself. And you stumble upon a few shops. And what sort of things would you look for when you're rolling through the stalls and stands and in a marketplace?
Well, I'd love to say anything that would catch his eye, but that's a terrible description.
That's a lot of everything.
He looks for different objects that's, if there was a whole bunch of brass objects on a table and one of them was silver, that one would definitely stand out and catch his attention. Or if there was a whole bunch of gold on one table and there was a little wooden statue, then that wooden statue would catch his attention.
Just something that sticks out compared to the rest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're in Lockpendle because we have a shopkeeper that says, "Come on over, young man. Come take a look at my wares. Is there anything that interests you?"
Ooh. Let us see.
So what you need to know about the shop is it's just a simple little shop. A lot of wood carvings in sort of, I guess you could say totems, sort of animal sculptures, things like that. And there's all sorts of different animals, different monsters that are throughout the world. And you do notice one that it's a little different. It's a wooden elephant with jade eyes and ivory
really cool.
tusks. So it's a dark wood, dark eyes, and then white ivory tusks. So obviously the shopkeeper has put in a lot of effort into making this particular one. So, young man, is there anything you see that you might like?
Oh, I will point at that beautiful object. What is that?
Oh, that's one of my prized possessions. The jade is from the mountains far away, and the ivory has been passed down through many generations. And I felt that an elephant of wise wisdom is the greatest thing I could bestow it on.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I have to have that.
Would you like for me to grab a bag for you?
Oh, no, that's okay. I have my own pouch.
Oh, alrighty. Well, it comes in at a hefty 5 gold.
5 gold. Oh, I do actually. So Pendle he reaches into his pouch and he shifts around, looking. He's got a bunch of crap in there, and a couple little balls fall out and roll around on the ground. He's like, "Oh, here!" And he pulls out a little bell. Ding, 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 ding. This was my grandmother's. She got it from her grandfather, who found it from a dragon.
Well, that's a very interesting story. But unfortunately, I don't know if it covers the 5 gold pieces. And then, in the back, you hear a big scream. And somebody in the background in the docks, one of the dock workers, falls and splashes off of a boat into the water. The shopkeeper, intrigued by this noise, turns around, leaving his shop unattended.
Well, I think about it for a couple seconds, and I say, you know what? He's right. That object is definitely worth more than this bell, from how the story he said. So I reach back in through my pockets again, and I pull out a candle. And he's very busy, clearly. So, and I don't want to bother him right now with all that's going. So I'll just put the candle and the bell beside it, and I'll take the statue.
All right. Can you roll a sleight of hand check?
Yes, I can.
A 7.
I believe it's a 15. Or wait, what does the 15 mean?
The 15's if you have advantage. We'll say you have advantage, as the shopkeeper is quite entertained by this falling dock worker. So you take the elephant figurine and you drop it into your pouch.
I didn't take it. I traded for it.
Traded for it. And then I would assume that you'd continue on your way.
Mhm.
And the shopkeep comes around and notice there's a candle and a bell.
Not
Can you
just
roll?
any bell. It was my grandma's grandfather's dragon's bell.
Dragon's bell. Can you roll a stealth check? Ooh, 12 and 25. So the shopkeep has no idea where you've gone, considering your smaller stature. And he's like, well, I've been robbed,
Oh, yes.
but I have no idea where he's gone. So he calls over for some guards, and Pendle makes his way off through the docks, darting in between the commoners' feet, minding his own business, as if nothing has gone wrong. Pendle then comes up to a notice board, and he sees a notice there, and it says, "Are you looking to fulfill all your dreams and desires? If so, meet at the Sleeping Dragon tonight at 6 p.m."
No way. I'm definitely gonna go there.
So that's where we leave Pendle. All right. Once again, we've run into some audio issues with Ben's character Dorn. To be honest, I don't even know why I invited him because I'm doing most of the work for him. So basically, Dorn has traveled from Darissa and headed towards Neverwinter. On his path, he was riding through the bushes, and an arrow whizzes past his horse's head, and he gets thrown from the horse. He gets up and shouts who's there. Nobody really answers, and then this is where the battle begins, and a goblin jumps out. They return volleys. The goblin shoots arrows and such, and Dorn, being a religious man, prays for help from his god of Mishkal, and with this, his shield that he has with the infinity symbol, which is the sign of healing, starts to glow blue. At this time, this frightens the goblin, and the goblin decides to run away. And the rest of Dorn's trip to Neverwinter is very uneventful. Dorn comes across what you would call a bounty board with a notice on it in Neverwinter, asking looking for fulfillment and personal quests and self-satisfaction, and he's to meet at the Sleeping Dragon at 6 p.m. that night, and that's where Dorn heads to. And this next portion is just a little description of the Neverwinter map, as well as where the Sleeping Dragon is. This is Neverwinter. So, as you can see, down in this fine area here, this is where most of the ships are docking, right? You've got a wall around the outside. There's some markets down along here, just, to help the process of trading. And yeah, there's this big crack right in the middle of Neverwinter, and nobody's really too sure why it's there. And yeah, it's your basic city. It's kind of got everything you need. It's got your armories. It's got your potion shops and stuff like that. So yeah, and as you can see, the Sleeping Dragon is right here. Yep. With the big red circle saying Sleeping Dragon. All right, so everybody has met at the Sleeping Dragon, and this is where we're going to end our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm slowly learning how to become a better DM and tell the stories with more detail and everything like that. Something you might like to know is we do stream these every 2 weeks. We will be streaming the next episode on Thursday August 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The link will be down below on where you can find that. We hope to see you there. You can watch them live. We will be continuing to post these videos on YouTube, so if you do miss it, you're still able to keep caught up. And if anyone is interested, we can very easily make a iTunes podcast if you'd like to listen to these on the go. If you're interested in that, be sure to let us know in the comments down below, as well as be sure to leave a like. It really helps us out. And we hope to see you on Twitch on the 27th at 6 p.m. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Characters and set up a bit of the custom campaign element, and then after we get everybody introduced, we'll be joined by the written portion of the campaign. It is the Lost Mines of Phandelver. Sure, sounds good. So after we get everyone introduced, we'll jump into that, and then once that's complete, we'll be going into a fully custom world. What I've done is I've put Neverwinter on a small little island, sort of like a starting area for our adventurers, and hopefully they'll level up, enjoy the journey, as well as maybe I'll learn a few things about how to be a DM here. Magic isn't overly flowing in this world. It's sort of a taboo sort of thing. There's no magic shop sort of deal in town. It's more, hey, that person has a magic wand. So there's magical elements, but it's not as rampant as most D&D worlds. I should say we're also playing the 5th edition. This is the only edition I've played because I'm quite new to the game. But yeah, so other than that, I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to sit back, relax, and enjoy your time. Hello, ladies. So, a few things you might need to know about the world I've created. It's a very basic world. There's, not a whole lot of fighting going on, if any. Actually, there hasn't been much. It's a world at peace. The reason I've done this is it just allows me to have, I guess, more control right now. And to be honest, the outside world isn't too much of a big influence with this pre-written campaign that we'll be running right now. So once we get out, then it'll allow me to take what the adventurers have done and use it to create the world around them in a more full manner, you can say. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my custom campaign, Edhellond Chronicles. I don't know if that's how I'm going to continue to pronounce it, as well. That's the first time I've actually heard it been said. So we've got a few characters. We have a few characters here, and when I say characters, I mean absolute ridiculous sons of guns. We'll start on the right. For me, we have Ben Schmidt. Ben, who are you playing? All right, so this is where Ben would be telling you about his character, but we had a bit of technical difficulties with his audio for this portion, so I'll just... Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Edhellond Chronicles. My name is Savvy, and I'll be your dungeon master as we travel through the world of Edhellond. This is my first time as a dungeon master. I've played very minimal D&D, so this might be a little rough, so you'll have to bear with me. What we'll be doing is a custom campaign for the most part, but also mixed in with some pre-written campaigns as well. We'll be starting out with a bit of character introduction, where I introduce characters.